So it actually went into Airbnb, as you can see, and it's picking up the dates. What is the most time-consuming, soul-crushing, repetitive task that you have to do and you never could automate it to some degree? Well, now with OpenAI agent or ChatGPT agent, you can to some degree do it, more or less. My name is Dmitro, and today we'll be looking at ChatGPT Agent. So what is ChatGPT Agent? It's a combination of the operator and deep research, so they combine it. Operator was before available only for pro users, and Agent now has some limits for the plus users. And it can browse the websites, it can execute code, it can navigate sites, so not only will search for you for specific sites on Bing, it will also, or it can at least open it and navigate. And the best cherry on top is that you can also bypass the authorization. So if before you had to create some MCP or figure out some way to pass the cookies, now you can take over the control and literally authorize and then give the access back. How to start using it? So of course you need a Plus or Pro subscription or Teams, and what you do is just you go to the tools and then pick the agent mode. So you see I already used the 5, and you basically need to describe a task you want to do. So let me book a maybe trip for August for like Switzerland, city called Mürren. So what I will do is I will specifically put like not clear instructions, so not even book. I will for now just do a research. So I didn't specify the amount of people and for how long, so I just said for August. And yeah, let's just start. It looks like a normal search, right? So we will start, and most likely, at least I hope, yeah, it's setting up the desktop, but I hope it will ask a question exactly. Do you have specific dates in August or specific price range in mind, or should I look for general price ranges across the month? So this time it didn't ask. So it actually went into Airbnb, as you can see, and it's picking up the dates. I can answer. So let's see how this will tackle this situation. So now, as you can see, it's starting actually to open up the browser. Or at least in this current state it's searching, so it can do searching first. And I specifically asked it, not actually asked it for the Airbnb. For now it just goes through the web, and basically now it goes through the web and searches the cheapest accommodations, not an Airbnb. So this will be next part. In the meantime, while it's searching, let's us do the same thing but with Airbnb. So I will write find me cheap Airbnb in Mürren, Switzerland for August, in August. So we will expect the same situation. So this time I'm specifying the Airbnb, so we are implying that, well, Airbnb data mostly is behind the paywall, or let's say authorization, right? We don't need authorization, but it needs to know if there are specific dates available. So this time it's actually asking me if how many people and which dates. So any week, any time for 1 week, let's say 2 people, and yeah, cheaper price range, I don't know. So let's see how this will perform here. So our first research just finished, and you can see it worked for 6 minutes, 165 sources, and here's the best priced hotels or hostels even for this time in August. And we can see the cheapest is 210 Swiss francs, so 230 euros, 200 maybe $30 for 7 nights, and then I think it's going up, and it's quite cheap. I was not expecting that it will find something cheap. So yeah, but this is just a web search, so this is not the best money spent for you. So it didn't really do what we wanted. It didn't go into the website, so I will force it this time. Go into Airbnb and find available time in these hotels. So it actually went into Airbnb, as you can see, and it's picking up the dates. It's working quite well. I was not expecting that it's actually this time will work better, because before I was trying to do it and it actually sometimes really had problems with opening stuff. Sometimes it just went to the Chrome browser profile, it was not picking it up. And yeah, but as you can see, it's actually starting to search and actually doing what we wanted. So you can see every action that it takes. You can see that it's picking up the amount of guests as we requested for 2. And yeah, and this is where the problem starts. You can see the page for the results currently loading. I will wait. So this is sometimes a problem that even though it says that it's loading, it will react too quick, and then it will try to refresh the page. And when it refreshes the page, it will have some issues in terms of like that it thinks that it's loaded already, but it didn't. So you have some time, and it takes it causes some problems, let's say. So it finished searching, and we can still take over the control if we want to browse what it found. And yeah, so a search to Valley Hostel only shows homes near section, Mountain Hostel Gimmelwald. So it kind of give me something, but it was not really what we wanted to do. But you can see that you can still take over the control. So let's go to new chat, and let's do one more task that is showing really, for me, for example, really an annoying task that I didn't automate, but theoretically I could, but it's just so small, but it's also sometimes time consuming, and I need to export it, is to export the search results for the website. And I can just write, go into my Google Analytics and give me in CSV format the search phrases and impressions, something like this. So this task is a bit more complex because you need to first authorize, so it needs to give me control. The only thing I already did before is I logged in, so most likely what it will do is it actually will already show the authorization. But let's see how this will perform. And I think yes, so you can see that that actually already authorized. So I already did it before, and it preserves the sessions between. So I did it before for a test, and it preserved the account, which is really nice. And you can see that it actually went into nice way by the clicking share and then downloading CSV. So it didn't even look through the text, which I was expecting it to do. So it actually went a bit more smart. So it didn't really perform well. And I can just just look at page and tell me the data. So maybe it thought that it needs to download it specifically, but let's see how this will perform. So, and you can see now it going to queries, and let's see if this will really work this time. So it looked at the queries that I have, not many of them, and I presume now it should see it, stop, and give me the data. It went to a new page, so it also can figure out the next pages. So now it will go through probably next pages and then give me the data. So this is where all of this, like where the problem starts with this agent, is that sometimes it's just not handling it correctly. So it sometimes misclicks, it cannot click somewhere, it tries to use pixels to figure out where it needs to click, but these pixels are not correct, so that's positioned where it wants to. So, and for example, this task it tries to accomplish, but it is just sometimes hard for it. So it will probably go now in the same loop to, yeah, try to click the arrow, but it's not really, as you can see, it barely manages to click on the next one, and it goes somewhere else. So it needs to scroll down. Now it's kind of starting to work, thankfully, but yeah, there is still a lot of things I think it needs to do. So now it says it's prepared the data. Let's see if this will really prepare or what it will do. So now it uses a terminal, which is interesting, and I presume it will format it and export it perfect. So it worked for 5 minutes. I think it was a bit longer, and you can see it was not that well, but we get like the top search preferences. And if we click on this, let's see, yeah, we can download the data. And yeah, I will not show you because I'm recording in browser, but there is like 76 items, so it kind of managed to do what it was supposed to do, so it's quite nice. So now let's talk pricing. Pricing for Pro, you get 400 requests per month, and Plus gets 40, and Team gets 30 credits, whatever it means. And so how it works, every time you have to chat, so every time you write a message, or in, for example, case of the Airbnb, it asks you a clarification, this counts as a one item. So every time it interrupts, you have to pay. And yeah, so ideally you need to be as precise as possible to just avoid this. 40 times such a query for Plus, I guess it's not really that worth, because it's just like for this morning, these 2 items basically minus 5 credits, if not more. So you can see now I have 30 left, so exactly 5 I used, which, yeah, it depends. So if you want to automate some more items, it might be not worth. The good part is that you can also automate it for future. So like at 1 a.m. you can do some report gathering or some data scraping, let's say, to some degree. If it doesn't require human action, it's quite working quite well. And yeah, so is it worth it? For the Pro subscription, I would not say for the money. If you already have it, of course, it's a nice thing to have. For Plus, it's the same thing. Like 40 times a month, you can use it if you really want to like parallelize something. To some degree, it will be helpful, but I think the limits are still quite low. So if you want really some pairing buddy on your side that you use for like while you're, let's say, working, you want to research some booking like travel, right? So I don't think this is still at the point where it will be cheap enough to do it. So yeah, but all in all, it's quite nice. Hope the video was helpful, and I see you in the next one.